Just when you thought things couldn't get any worse, here comes more FUD. Look at Bitcoin. It fell off a cliff. It's barely clinging on to 20,000. What caused this? Well, the U.S. market sold off today. Look at it. Deep in the red. Again, more fears about rate hikes, about the job claim that's coming out tomorrow, or I should say the job report that's coming out tomorrow. And of course, scared about Powell. But look at this. Out of nowhere, the New York Attorney General sues KuCoin, the exchange. Not only that, but also declares Ethereum a security. Have they been talking to Gary Gensler? So it's bad enough they're going after KuCoin for basically selling unregistered securities. They have also deemed that Ethereum is a security. Why? Well, looking at this very lengthy lawsuit, okay? First of all, they're attacking KuCoin because KuCoin has offered, sold, and purchased securities, okay? And they believe they are unregistered. So they want KuCoin to get registered or leave the state of New York. That's bad enough already. KuCoin is one of the biggest exchanges out there. KuCoin, I'm going to kind of go over this real quick, but you can see KuCoin offered, sold, purchased a cryptocurrency called ETH on its platform. ETH is the native currency on Ethereum blockchain created by Vitalik Buterin and several others, right? Okay. Initial coin offering. ETH development management is largely driven by a small number of developers who hold position in ETH. Okay, and this goes on and explains how the Ethereum Foundation had an ICO, initial coin offering, in which ETH was sold to fund the creation of Ethereum, right? The funds are used to support the development of Ethereum blockchain, directly providing developers with funding, okay? So they kind of restate what has happened before. And then they also restate, well, transitioning to staking from proof of work to proof of stake. Buterin and Ethereum Foundation retain significant influence over Ethereum and are often a driving force behind major initiatives on the Ethereum blockchain that impact the functionality and price of ETH. More relevant here, Buterin and Ethereum Foundation play key roles in facilitating the recent fundamental shift of transaction verification method from proof of work to proof of stake. Okay. Transactions. Okay, I'm not going to go over that. But then we go into ETH is promoted as investment. The developers of ETH promoted as investment that was contingent on the growth of Ethereum network. For instance, the Ethereum Foundation notes on the website that many ETH users see it as an investment similar to Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. In addition, the ICO documents include representations that ETH production would dramatically slow over time, resulting in ETH becoming increasingly scarce and thus more valuable. The Ethereum Foundation claims on its website that users of Ethereum see it as a digital store of value because the creation of new ETH slows down over time. So at first glance, this looks pretty damning. Okay, Ethereum had an ICO. Vitalik and team has too much sway over the direction of the project, which can benefit them because they are large holders of ETH. And number three, some of the initial documents hint that many can view Ethereum as an investment, as an asset that can grow in value over time, right? So these are the three things. Now, one of the questions that needs to be answered as we go forward, on a side note, is the fact that if something starts out as security, does it remain a security forever, or can it actually transit to being a commodity? And vice versa. Can something that's a commodity transit to being a security later? Because ETH was declared by the SEC as a commodity, okay? Before Gary took over, they were already declared a commodity. And even a CFTC just recently said that Ethereum is a commodity, right? Why did they make this determination? Well, because I believe they thought, or the people that were in charge thought that, yeah, even though they may have started out as security, but is no longer a security and now has become a commodity? I think this is one of the main fundamental questions that needs to be answered as we move forward, right? But as for Ethereum themselves, yes, they did have ICO. They did want to raise funds for development of the project, right? Many projects have done so. So yes, they have to, they have to own that. They did have that, right? And some of their ICO documents did have hints about how Ethereum could grow in value over time, and some see it as a asset that can grow in time, just like Bitcoin. I could see how the language, right, can make you think like that. And this is early on. Remember, Vitalik was basically a teenager then, right? A lot of the other founders were quite young that are part of it. And, they were starting something that never happened before. Before Ethereum having an ICO, it just didn't happen. It kind of led the trend, right? So they were trying something new. And it worked obviously for them, right? But now it's kind of coming back. But here's the thing. The other major reason why the New York Attorney General thinks that Ethereum is security is because, first of all, the team did have ICO. Many of the members do have a large amount of ETH in their pockets, right? And because they're the driving force of many major initiatives, that they can benefit, then they can manipulate the price of ETH. But here's the thing. All these new proposals now on Ethereum, they have to be voted upon. The miners had to vote, right? And now the stakers have to vote. All these decisions, okay, had to be voted upon, and they could be struck down, right? But they weren't. So even though these guys may be the ones coming up with ideas, kind of setting direction, but ultimately the whole group, everyone holding Ethereum, everyone that's in the community, they have to approve whether or not this goes, right? Or the direction goes. So, you know what? So I don't know. I find that argument to be weak. Just because you have an ICO, does that automatically make you a security as well? Just because you had a fundraising at the beginning, does that mean that you're a security? Because, crowdfunding is also allowed in the US. Projects that start out doing crowdfunding, they're not deemed securities, right? So that's also something else that we need to think about going forward. Just because a project had an ICO, right, does that automatically mean that they are security? Something to think about. All right, guys, I'm going to cover